Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and it's the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name is Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in, the continued support. I really do appreciate it. And I like to give you a very special welcome to today's video, because today's video is my first ever First Lady Reads Awards. Yes, it's finally here. These are my best of 2022. I wanted to do this in a really unique, kind of cool style that's very reminiscent to me. I'm a huge fan of watching the Oscars. I watch them every year, and sometimes I even take bets on them, just so you know. I never win, but whatever. But I wanted to do it this way because I thought it was unique, it was inventive, and I thought it was a different way of bringing to you my best of 22. Instead of sitting here talking about a plethora of books, I'm only be talking about the best. And we get to do it in award style fashion. So if that seems like something interesting to you and you want to find out who my nominees are, if you haven't already seen them, they are linked in the down box below. But if you'd like to find out who gets to win, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. All right. So I'm a huge fan of the Oscars. So this is very geared and very similar and reminiscent of the Oscars. So I have to talk about what I'm wearing, because although I don't have a red carpet, I have a tan carpet and I sit on it. I don't walk it. I am wearing a dress, and I never wear dresses, guys. I don't know who the dress is by. I bought off at Amazon. It's a blue thing. And I am wearing my Le'Veon Chocolate Diamond collection that was purchased and given to me as gifts by my husband, who is my date for this evening, although he happens to be asleep. So he'll just catch up later. It's fine. Now we got the red carpet stuff out of the way. Let's get into the awards. I have 14 categories, all very reminiscent based off of a Oscar award category. Some of them are kind of stretching, but it's okay. So our first category is Best Audiobook, which is reminiscent of Best Song or Best Composition. So without further ado, from the authentic accents of two Scotsmen to the faux Russian accent of an American and the English brogue of another speaking French, this year's nominees for the Best Audiobook span the world. The stories they tell speak of a history of warring clans in Scotland, the beauty and pain of the first time, the healing and the internal demons and internal struggle of your chosen path, and all the way to the French pastry and realization that ordering a coffee and a bear claw means I love you. Here are the nominees for Best Audiobook.
Clanlands, written by Sam Heughan and Graham McTavish, narrated by Sam Heughan and Graham McTavish. The Bratza's Baby, written by Jane Henry, narrated by Wen Ross. Vanquish, written by Pam Godwin, narrated by Joe Raylan and Ryan West. The Property of a Mountain Man, written by Gemma Weir, narrated by Cecily Forrester and Drew Adams. Wanderlust, written by Lauren Blakely, narrated by Richard Armitage and Grace Grant. Priest, written by Sierra Simone, narrated by Jacob Morgan and Elena Wolfe.
And the award for Best Audiobook for the first ever First Lady Reads Awards goes to Wanderlust by Lauren Blakely. This was my best audiobook of the year, guys. How do you compete with Richard Armitage? I mean, seriously. You can't. Stunning audiobook performance. Grace Grant and Richard Armitage did a fantastic job of conveying the characters of Griffin and Joy. Griffin is a translator who's been hired by Joy's company to help acclimate her to the Parisian culture. Joy is from the States, and she's been brought over to Paris to run their perfume department. She has a nose like a bloodhound, okay? She can smell these little minute notes. But the beautiful thing about this book and the stunning thing about this audiobook is that these two narrators together conveyed such a sensory overloaded experience. With Lauren Blakely's writing, it is a fucking fantastic installment. It's the first installment to the From Paris with Love series. I do plan on completing the rest of the series later on, but this thing was just stunning. There was no hands down, this deserved the First Lady Reads Award for Best Audiobook. Don't get me wrong, all my nominees were fantastic, and they all left me very happy in some parts, and they gave me great stories, but the tonal quality of both of these narrators together with the storyline and the plot, it was just epic, and it couldn't be beat. So congratulations to Wanderlust by Lauren Blakely. You are the best audiobook of 2022. Now it's time for the category of Best Original or First Installment to a Series. This is the equivalent to the Best Original Screenplay of the Oscars. So without further ado, when starting a book, authors must perform a juggling act. They need to create a world, create characters, create a plot, but authors who write series, well, they're not the jugglers on the floor. They're the juggler balancing a whipped cream pie on their head while riding a unicycle that is suspended on the tightrope over the circus floor. Series authors have to do it all. They have to create a world, characters, plots multiple times over to keep us coming back for more. More reasons, more questions, and cliffhangers. The original installment to a series sets the tone for the entire series. And if one element falls, well, the whole act is lost and we end up with pie on the face. So, here are the nominees for Best Original or First Installment to a Series for 2022.
Highland Conquest, The Sons of Sinclair series by Heather McCollum. A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. Deliver, The Deliver series by Pam Godwin. Lifeblood, The Immoral Coven series by Amara Ray. Jessie, The Bossy Brother series by J.A. Huss. Priest, The Priest series by Sierra Simone.
And the winner for Best Original Installment or First Installment to a Series for 2022 is Lifeblood by Amara Ray, the first installment to the Mortal Coven series. This thing knocked me off my socks when I read it. I just could not put this thing down. I read it in a car trip and then finished it in the hotel room that night. This thing was epic. We follow Colette and Mackay. Colette is a life witch or a healing witch of a hybrid coven, and Mackay is a warlock looking for his clan. And the clan he's temporarily kind of working with, he is, well, he's not a very nice man. He's a sadist by choice and a torturer by trade. And Colette falls into his grasp after she is kidnapped because they want to try to take down her coven. And they believe taking away their healer will do that. But through a transference of blood, they find out that Mackay and Colette are actually fated mates. So then it starts off this super steamy, super hot, super intense story where we build and build and build. And not only do we have a great plot for this installment, we get an amazing plot set up for future installments. I bought the rest of the series the day after I finished this book. I just could not wait. Now, granted, then she released another book, so I don't own the whole series right now. I have to buy that last one, but this thing was 5 stars out the gate. I've recommended it multiple times, so there's no doubt in my mind that this deserves the 2022 First Lady Award for Best Original or First Installment series, because this thing was fucking everything. So, congratulations. To stand alone is to be seen without the assistance of props, supports, or assistance of any kind. When it comes to a standalone book, it's a class all of its own. All of the contents between the front and back covers needs to transport you to another world, take you on a journey through another country, teach you to forgive and teach you to love. So from Scotland to the dream world, to Wildfell Hall, and back to a professor's classroom. Here are the nominees for Best Standalone of 2022.
Clanlands by Sam Heughan and Graham McTavish. The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. The Professor by Serena Akeroyd. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw.
And the winner for Best Standalone of 2022 is Clanlands by Sam Heughan and Graham McTavish. This was one of my very first books that I read this past year, and it was one of my first 5 stars. Now, granted, I did listen to this on audio, which I do think made this book for me, but I feel like the banter written between these two characters is just as explosive on page as you actually listening to it. So that is one reason why I picked this for Best Standalone, because it encompasses everything. Not only is this nonfiction, it's educational, it's funny, it's hilarious. I mean, I could not stop laughing at this book. Sam Heughan has a severe obsession with tormenting Graham McTavish, and he does it so freaking well. It's fantastic. If you are not familiar with who Sam Heughan or Graham McTavish are, they are the actors that portray Jamie Fraser and McDougal in the Outlander series, which is based off the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. Jamie Fraser is our lead protagonist, and Sam Heughan does an excellent job of representing him. And that's what this book actually really focuses around. They go to all these different important military historical sites that you see in the Outlander show, and they actually give you the history and the stories behind it, the real story behind it, if you would say. And they bring out all the nitty-gritty elements that me as a history person really likes, all those really minute details that you don't ever hear about, but are the really interesting parts. That's what you're learning about in this book. This thing was fan-freaking-tastic. I highly recommend it if you're looking for like a nonfiction recommendation that will not put you to sleep. So, congratulations to Clanland for being the best standalone of 2022. La fin. El fin, fine. The end. No matter what language you read, seeing those words at the end of a trilogy, quartet, or a long-standing series can run the gamut of emotions, from elation to confusion, to pain, to contentment, and beyond. Here are the nominees for Best Completed Series of 2022.
The Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. The Existence series by Abby Glines. The Fantasy Football series by Liz Mattis. The Sainthood, Boys of Lowell High by Siobhan Davis.
And the winner for Best Completed Series of 2022 is... Did you really think I wasn't going to pick anything else? Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This thing took me on the ride of a lifetime. This is my first foray into Sarah J. Maas, and I just adored every single second of it. This series, I am holding up only the first installment of this very long series, but it is worth every single word on the page. We meet Selena Sardathian. She is a captive who's a former assassin, and she is brought in to have this kind of assassin lead competition, and she ends up winning, and then that spirals off into this phenomenal series that will take you to the brink of sanity and bring you right back. This series, we meet kick-ass females, we meet kick-ass males, we meet hella villainous villains, and we have romance, we have love, we have forgiveness, we have backstabbing, we have some twists and turns. Where the hell they went, I have no idea. We have characters that completely change their whole dynamic. The arcs in this series are fantastic. This series, hands down, had to win the Best Completed Series of 2022. Because it was the longest out of all of these, but it had the most growth. It had the most shock. It had the most staying power. When I said goodbye to this series, I'm okay with saying goodbye because I know the characters that don't make it will be missed. I know the endings that I have, I'm okay with. And the endings that I got that I was not expecting, can we get some installments off of those? Because I would love to see what happens with that. But if I never do, I'm okay. Sarah J. Maas seriously knocked it out of the ballpark with this series, and I just absolutely adored it. So without a doubt, congratulations to Throne of Glass for being Best Completed Series of 2022. I've heard it said many times, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, whoever they are, they've never met a cover whore like myself. A great cover can inspire wonderment and joy and an appetite for the pages within it, while simultaneously offering disappointment and letdown when you find out what's in it kind of sucks and it was just a great cover. But a not so appealing cover can keep you on the edge of your seat, biting at the quick of your nails. So, moral of the story, buy the beautiful cover. Buy the cover that looks so appealing but sounds great. Just buy the damn book. That's what I did. And here are the nominees for Best Cover of 2022. They all weren't great, but they definitely all did make me feel something.
Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. Malice by John Gwynne. Vanquish by Pam Godwin. Lore Olympus, Volume 1 by Rachel Smythe. Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. Priest by Sierra Simone.
And the winner for Best Cover of 2022 is Malice by John Gwynne. This is the first installment to the Faithful and the Fallen series. And this, without a shadow of a doubt, was going to win Best Cover because I literally bought this book for the cover. And it sat on my shelf for years because of the cover. And I was so scared that the book would suck. And I literally just bought this for the pretty artwork on the front. But this whole series is stunning with its cover art. Absolutely phenomenal. I gave this book 4 stars this past year when I read it because it did take to almost the halfway point for me to really get latched on. It is a very slow world building, but once you're in it, holy shit, hold on because you are in for a roller coaster of a ride. And if you are not properly buckled in, strapped in, you will fly the fuck out. All right? It will take you running. I had a fantastic time with this book. And I was so happy to know that the pages within this beautiful, stunning cover matched its beauty on the outside. I can honestly say that I lucked out. And sometimes when you buy the book for the cover, you get a kick-ass story. So, congratulations to Malice by John Gwynne for being the best cover of 2022. Sex. It's sex, people. We all like to talk about it. We all like to hear about it. We all like to do it. And we all love to read about it. So I'm not really sure what else to say about these upcoming nominees, except whether it's a first time, taboo, paranormal, healing, or a time between two people who just really don't fucking like each other. All of our nominees definitely left their own unique mark on myself. And, well, it's a good thing it's rechargeable. Here are the nominees for Best Erotic Scene of 2022.
Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. The Virginity Scene. Vanquish by Pam Godwin. The See You Next Tuesday Scene. Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Rowan's Bite Scene. Priest by Sierra Simone. Sex on an Altar Scene. Jessie by J.A. Huss. Hate Sex on a Kitchen Counter. Naughty Wolf by Adie Award. The Mate Bite Scene.
It's a little hot in here. It's a little hot. All those remembering all of those scenes. It's a little hot. But there's definitely one. There's one that stands out the most. The best erotic scene of 2022 is Vanquish by Pam Godwin. The See You Next Tuesday scene. Let me set this up. We have Van, who we meet in the first installment because Vanquish is the second installment to the Deliver series. He is stalking Liv from the first installment, and he is stalking her by sitting on the front porch of the house next door to her, who happens to be owned by a woman named Amber, who is an agoraphobic. Amber has to leave her house to get her packages, and through her struggle, she finally overcomes just enough to leave, but then she has a severe panic attack, and Van is watching this beautiful creature just break before his eyes, and his nature takes over, and Amber becomes his point of wanting to play. So he kidnaps her. And through a series of very, very dark and very, very taboo plot points, Van learns about Amber. And there is this amazing scene where he finds out that Amber hates the way she looks. She thinks her own anatomy is disgusting and horrid. So he puts her on a bathroom counter and says, "This is mine. How dare you insult it?" And the way Pam writes this, it is so moving. It is so stunning. She just makes you this is the point where I think I really started to fall in love with Van, was this moment. I already kind of liked his character, but this is when I really believe I might have actually started to fall in love with Van. I didn't know it then, but looking back on the book itself, this is the moment. Because he doesn't give a fuck that Amber thinks that she's disgusting, or that she's horrible, or that she's unfit for the male gaze. He's just like, fuck you, lady. This is mine, and it's perfect, and how dare you insult it? This was not a sex scene, but it was extremely erotic, it was extremely moving, and it was extremely hard-hitting. I just had a great time with this book, and this scene is one of the reasons why. So this is the best erotic scene from 2022. Congratulations. God created the heavens and the earth in a day. The next nominees' authors might have taken a little bit longer than that, but the worlds that they created are just as real and just as vivid as the world and earth that was created in a day. From the sunless world to the world of dawn, to a world where magic barely exists, to a world where your sense of taste and smell are your only forms of navigation, and to the world under the mountain, all the way back up to the world where dreamers dream and the stars answer. Here are your 2022 nominees for Best World Building.
Empire the Vampire by J. Kristoff. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Malice by John Gwynne. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Wanderlust by Lauren Blakely. Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas.
And the winner for Best World Building in 2022. I am not going to lie to you guys, this is one of the hardest choices I made this year, because every single book in this category did a fantastic job. They all created worlds that I wish I could see for real. But there is one that if it was real, I'd buy my plane ticket tomorrow. Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second installment to the Court of Thorns and Roses series, which was also nominated for Best World Building, because Sarah J. Maas not only gave us a world there that was fantastic and beautiful, but then she ups her game and does it 10 times better in this book. She gave us four, I don't even know how many worlds she actually created in this book, but all of them were so descriptive, so vivid, so real that I could see it in my mind's eye, and I wanted to go. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there with the inner circle. Sarah J. Maas, with the way she wrote and the way she described her world and the way she built it slowly but surely, but yet at the same time reminisced back to her previous installments. Yes, you would not have the world building in this book if you did not have the first one, and that is an argument that I wrestled with over and over and over and over again. But this one, she excelled. This book just takes you on a journey, and the world becomes a character in and of itself. It is not a character in A Court of Thorns and Roses. It is a character here. And it is a manipulative one. It is a beautiful one. It is a heartfelt one. It is a cold one. It is a warm one. It is just stunning. She did such an excellent job. So yes, Best World Building of 2022 was Sarah J. Maas's installment of A Court of Mist and Fury. Congratulations. My daughter is in sports, and there's something I tell her all the time, is that the people on the bench are just as important as the players on the field. And our next nominees know that better than anybody else. The nominees for Best Female Supporting Character have sacrificed for the one that needs to go on. They've enjoyed the ride so much that they got their own book. They come out as the last woman standing, and they have taken one for the team. Here are your nominees for Best Supporting Female Character.
Gellys Duncan from Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Sloane from Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. G, The Existence series by Abby Glines. Fetch from The Grey Bastards by Jonathan French.
And the winner for Best Female Supporting Character is Sloane from Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. I had such a great time when I read this book. Sloane, I kind of liked her more than the heroine in this book, to be perfectly honest. So I'm super ecstatic that she actually gets her own installment, which I believe is Carnal Urges, is her installment. So I'm very, very pumped to read that soon and to find out what her storyline is, because she was a riot in this installment. Her antics, her banter, just her as a friend was great. I want a Sloane in my life. And I think I kind of have a few of them, but I don't think they're going to go do some mafioso shit either, though. So I don't know. But I love Sloane. She was one of my favorite side characters for the year. And of course, she had to win this award. So Sloane from Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. Congratulations. Well, it seems that our female supporting character nominees were kind of in the thick of it in their installments. Our nominees for the best male supporting character had a little bit more fun this past year. So whether it was enduring a mass curse for your best friend, or just catcalling the god of the underworld while he's going on a date, or protecting your friend while she became a member of the Mile High Club, or utilizing the Urban Dictionary in your everyday language, here are our nominees for best male supporting character of 2022.
Hermes, A Touch of Darkness series by Scarlett St. Clair. Lucian, From a Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Stephen, from In Flight by R.K. Lilly. Kaz, The Sainthood, Boys of Lowell High series by Siobhan Davis.
And the winner for best male supporting character. It's all you, Hermes. Hermes from A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. I loved Hermes. I loved all of our nominees, but Hermes, he's my OG. He's my original side character love. I just loved him. I loved him in this installment. I love him in every single installment that he appears in, and he does not appear enough. I want a whole Hermes book. I love his banter. I love his attitude. I love the way he protects Persephone and stands up for her, and he's not afraid to get in Hades' face. Even though Hades is the god of the underworld and could like smite him in like 2.5 seconds, this man still has the balls to catcall him while he's getting dolled up for a date. I love him. He's one of my faves. He is. So congratulations, Hermes. You're the winner. What is a villain? The Webster's Dictionary says it is a character whose evil actions and motives are important to the plot. These next nominees definitely have all of those credentials. Male, female, and otherworldly, our villains are holding nothing back this year. From the queen under the mountain to a man so evil his own mother named him for the sin that he was. Our beasts, our fey imposters, and all our dark princes gave us moments of pure evil that allowed us to smile when our heroes overcame. So, a toast to all the villains. May you always remain markings on my page. Here are the nominees for Best Villain of 2022.
Black Jack Randall, Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Dayton Voss, The Beast of Aline from Empire the Vampire by J. Kristoff. Amaranthe, Queen Under the Mountain from A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Maeve, Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Hybern, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Erewhon from Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Sinner Lennox, The Sainthood, Boys of Lowell High series by Siobhan Davis.
Holy crap, guys. This was another almost impossible category. I literally decided the winner moments before filming this because I could not decide. I couldn't. Every single one of these villains excelled at their craft. Their authors wrote them to be the purest of pure evil for the storyline that they were in. They were all exceptionally well done, whether it was because they had a whole series to build them up to be that way, or they just had that single installment to make a punch. All of them excelled, but there was one. There was one villain that if they came into fruition, I don't really know how I'd react. Now, I have paranormal villains in here. I have human villains in here. And to say that if a paranormal villain appeared that I would be more scared than a human villain, I have no idea. But all of these guys were so hard. All these females were so hard. All of them. But there was one that when I think of villain, he just described it all. Every last bit of it. It's Sinner Lennox from the Sainthood, Boys of Lowell High. I fucking hate this guy. I hate him. There was absolutely zero redemption in this entire series for him. All of the other villains had a moment where maybe I could see them turning based off of other moments in these novels that they appear in. But no, this guy, he is pure evil from the day he was born. He was named Sinner for a damn reason because his mom knew he was a piece of shit. So, he is so vile. He is so disgusting. Ugh. I hated him every time he came on the page and I had to hear his name or I had to hear him saying something or I had to hear about what he did. I just wanted to vomit. I had a visceral reaction to this man and I hated him. And the fact that he is related to one of my favorites, holy fuck. No, sir. But goddamn, did you do your job? I hate you. And I think you need to hate a villain. Even though I tend to fall in love with them sometimes. This one, did not love. Pure hate. Pure hate between me and him. There you go. There's your winner for Best Villain of 2022. Sinner fucking Lennox. Ugh. Author Stephen King wrote, "Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work." These next nominees know the meaning of work. They have all written sexy, twisted, beautiful, inspiring, foreign, soul-changing works for me in this past year. With their prose and their talents, they have weaved and created worlds that have forever changed my DNA, for better or for worse. Some of these authors, I'm still questioning my own sanity of why I like them. So, here are the nominees for Best New Author to me.
Heather McCollum, Sarah J. Maas, Jane Henry, Becca Braden, Amo Jones, Pam Godwin.
Before I announce the winner of Best Author of 2022, Best New to Me Author of 2022, I need to preface this. All of these authors wrote fantastic installments. Every author on this list wrote a book that I loved, that I still talk about, that changed me. So if any of these authors ever actually get to see this video, thank you. Thank you for your gifts and thank you for your talent. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. You give us lives that we wish we could live. You transport us, you teach us things, and you remind us of what's important. So thank you. Thank you for your time and your effort and all your dedication to your craft. With that being said, the winner of Best New Author to me in 2022 is, without a shadow of a doubt, Sarah J. Maas. I started reading Sarah J. Maas because of the SJM Read-Along hosted by Jen over at the Book Refuge. We are reading all of her published works in publication order to see if we can find ties in between the books. I have never read a Sarah J. Maas book up until April of 2022, where I started with Throne of Glass. Little did I know when I picked up that book that I was going to be taken on a journey that would forever change me. I have read up to date all but 3 works by Sarah J. Maas as of filming this right now. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that she is literally now my favorite author. She has given me characters that I still refuse to say goodbye to. And I don't want to say goodbye. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I have never had an author dig so deep into me and latch on that I can't say goodbye. So, Sarah, if you ever get to see this, thank you for all of your stories. Thank you so much. I wish I would have read you when you first came out, but I'm so glad that I read you now because I feel like I would not have appreciated your work and talent back then as I do now. Thank you. Congratulations. Smart, fearless, broken, in love, pissed off, destined, and a savior. These are all terms that describe our nominees for Best Heroine of 2022. All of these women, though they don't stand alone in their novels, they do hold their own with the gifts and characteristics that their authors have given them. These are all women that embody characteristics that I look for in people and I wish I displayed in myself. Here are the nominees for Best Heroine of 2022.
Claire Randall, Outlander, by Diana Gabaldon. Melinda, from Speak, by Laurie Hulse Anderson. Aelin, from Queen of Shadows, by Sarah J. Maas. Feyre, A Court of Thorns and Roses, by Sarah J. Maas. Persephone, from A Touch of Malice, by Scarlett St. Clair. Emma Dumas, from Jessie, by J.A. Huss. Urine Towers, from Tower of Dawn, by Sarah J. Maas.
And the winner for Best Heroine of 2022 is Feyre from A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. In this installment, she starts off as a human. Everything she does in this book, she is human. She's a human girl. She has ups, she has downs, she has been let down, and she has been praised. She has fallen in love, and she's had her heart broken. She's been betrayed. She's been lied to. She's real to me. In this installment, she is the realest that she will ever be. And knowing where she goes makes this version of Feyre so much more important. Because I love to see where they started off as. Because she was kick-ass then, and you can only imagine what she is now. Congratulations. This was one of the easiest choices this year. Absolutely, without a doubt, one of the easiest. I will forever love Feyre. Congratulations. There's a song by Bonnie Tyler. It goes like this. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero tonight. He's got to be strong. He's got to be fast. He's got to be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out until the morning light. He's got to be sure. He's got to be soon. And he's got to be larger than life. There are no other words that would perfectly describe our heroes for Best Hero of 2022 nominees. From fae men to gods, to criminals, to the king among men, our 2022 nominees come in all shapes and sizes, all tracks of life, even paranormal ones. They're mean, they're kind, they're sarcastic, and they are sexy as sin. Here are the nominees for Best Hero of 2022.
Jamie Fraser, from Outlander, by Diana Gabaldon. Gabriel D. Leon, from Empire the Vampire, by J. Kristoff. Van, from Vanquish, by Pam Godwin. Hades, A Game of Retribution, by Scarlett St. Clair. Rhysand, from A Court of Mist and Fury, by Sarah J. Maas. Rowan, from An Empire's Storms, by Sarah J. Maas. Chaol Westfall, from Tower of Dawn, by Sarah J. Maas. Saint Lennox, from Resurrection, by Siobhan Davis.
Oh, and here we come to one of the last categories that gave me the most run for my money. I had zero idea how I was going to choose this one. Every single one of these heroes I have a special place in my heart for. Even the seriously disturbed ones. So when I was trying to figure out the winner for this, I really had to sit down and break down the credentials. Did it take more books to create the hero that I love? Did their counterparts outshine them at any point in time? Or did they hold their own? Was their arc strong enough to really validate their negative behavior? Their story's not finished yet. Can I really say that they're the best yet? All of these factors went in me to deciding this, and there was only one that felt I could really answer a lot of those questions. So congratulations. I fell in love with you in book 1. But I just didn't know it yet. And in book 2, I realized that I've always known that you were it. Congratulations, Rescind, from A Court of Mist and Fury. You are the hero of 2022. You stand on your own, but yet you let the others around you shine. You can play the bad guy so well and so convincing that you almost had me fooled. But you can't chase destiny. You can't change it. Rescind is my hero of 2022. I think he's everybody's hero at some point in time. I mean, who doesn't love Rescind? Wingspan matters, people. Wingspan matters. That's all I have to say. Congratulations. This was one of the harder ones, but he's perfect. He always was. A well thought out world that was so on point that I wished it was real, but was thanking God every day that it wasn't. A plot that kept me on the edge of my seat, from the bitter or to the happy end. Characters that were so real and so unique that the idea that they were fake, that's the crazy idea. Descriptions that were so on point that my senses were electrified. A true transportation of mind, body, and soul. These are the characteristics that every single one of these next nominees did at some point in time. These are the characteristics that I looked at when deciding Book of the Year. That's why all 4 of these nominees are nominated, because they performed one or multiple of these actions. So without further ado, the best book of 2022 nominees are
Empire the Vampire by J. Kristoff. A Game of Retribution by Scarlett St. Clair. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Wanderlust by Lauren Blakely.
Here it is, guys. Here it is. The final award, but probably one of the most important. My best book of 2022. I picked one book from each quarter. I didn't want to make this so difficult on myself, so I only picked one. These 4 nominees have touched me or changed me in a way that I didn't know was possible with books. They have all given me something to hold on to. They've all given me something to remember. But the best book of 2022 Empire the Vampire by J. Kristoff. This was literally my favorite book of 2022. I did a full book review on it. I'll link it up here in the corner for you guys if you want to go check it out. This is the first installment to a high dark fantasy series by J. Kristoff, and I need book 2. I read this at the beginning of the year, and I never stopped talking about it. I have turned so many people in my real world onto this book. This thing has everything. It has action, it has love, it has murder, it has backstabbing, it has blood, it has gay fucking vampires, okay? This thing has it all, and it's just the fucking beginning. It's just the beginning. This story is nowhere near being done, and I am just dying for another installment. So, honey, Lauren, you were right. Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff is the best book of 2022 that I read. I recommend this so much. So much. This put vampires back on the map. They made them cool. They made them mean. They made them angry. And they made them sarcastic. And Gabriel De Leon is a fucking badass. Best book of 2022. There you have it, guys. There are my best books of 2022 in the past 14 categories. I hope you enjoyed the very first ever First Lady Reads Awards. Let me know if I pick some of your winners. But congratulations to all of our winners. This was so much fun. I had such a blast doing this. The best of the best. I'll see you guys all soon with another video.